Well, good morning, everybody. I'd like to welcome everybody to Keystroke Live. Today, my name's Lynn, and today we're talking about using the target profit margin field. And just as a reminder, Keystroke Live is every Wednesday, same time, same place, 10 o'clock Mountain Time. We have technical training on Keystroke POS software. And the first Wednesday of every month is with our president, Michael Gebb. So let's get into using the target profit margin field. This field is on different database records, primarily on inventory, department, category, and location. It applies only to inventory items that have a $0 base price and a $0 average cost. And so some examples of where you might use it, you might have, if you're a grocery store or something, a miscellaneous produce button that you don't have a price set, it's just the price gets set at the point of sale. And what this allows for these inventory items with a $0 cost and price, it allows your profit reports and sales markup reports to show the profit and markup appropriately instead of a profit of all asterisks or a markup, that's really high if you might sell it for $10 and the cost is $0. So the thing to remember, and I'm going to show you all of this in Keystroke as well, but you can have, as I mentioned, a target profit margin on the inventory record, on the location that's attached to an inventory record, on the category, or on the department. And that is the priority that Keystroke uses. So, for example, if there's a target profit margin on the inventory, it's going to ignore any target profit margins on the location, on the category, or on the department. If there's not one on the inventory, it's going to look at the location. If there's not one there, it'll look at the category. If there's not one there, it'll look at the department. So take that into consideration. And I'm going to kind of show you how that works. What Keystroke does is it back calculates the cost based on the price that the clerk enters on the transaction and the highest priority profit margin. So again, if it's on inventory, if there's a profit margin on inventory, it's going to show that one. If there's one on location, it's going to use that one exclusively. If there's not one there, it's going to use the location field, etc. So let's go to Keystroke here. And I've modified some of our sample data to give you an idea of how this works. We're going to put in an item that is a $0 profit margin. I forgot to change this field. So we're going to go back here. We're going to enter it again. It has a $0 price. I'm going to say my shipping and handling is $5. Well, let's go and take a look at the inventory record. Remember, it's a $0 cost and price. On this particular item, on the inventory record, the target profit margin is on the order data screen right here, which I've set for a 20% profit margin. Now, in this case, both the department has a target profit margin of 65%. The shipping category has a target profit margin of 35%. But remember the priority. So when we take a look at this and look at the line item detail, this is where the profit margin and the cost gets back calculated. Because there's a target profit margin on the inventory record, it back calculates the cost based on that target profit margin of 20%. So if you're selling it for $5, your cost is $4, that's your profit margin of 20%. Let's look at another example here. We have a labor item, and let's say I'm going to charge $50 in labor, and I'm not going to worry about all my comments. If you look at the line item detail, it's doing a 65% profit margin, and where it's getting that on this item is because of it's a service item which has a target profit margin in the department. The labor category doesn't have a target profit margin, and the inventory record doesn't have a target profit margin, so it's going to go in priority. Remember, it's going to look at the inventory record, then the location, then the category, then the department, and it's going to stop when it gets to the first one in that order. So you can set this up, as I mentioned, to back calculate your profit. So if I just go ahead and tender this out, and I'm just going to save it, and I go to Report Manager and look at my profit report, and we're going to do it detailed for today. Even though the inventory records itself had a zero cost, zero price, Keystroke back calculates the cost and thus your profit based on that target profit margin field. So let's kind of go back and review, and then I'm going to open this up for questions. It applies only to items that have a $0 price and a $0 average cost. It's available on multiple records, but it is going to go in a particular priority. But it allows your profit and markup reports to show appropriately. The priority is it's going to look at the inventory record first. If there is something in the target profit margin field, it will use that one and keep going down to location, category, and department. And it back calculates the cost based on the price that you enter at the point of sale. So I'm going to open this up for questions, but before I do, I want to thank everybody for being here. Next week is transaction file splits with David Hunsinger. So I'd like to see if anybody has any questions, any comments, anything else that you might need to know on this. Boy, everybody's quiet.
I have a question.
Sure, Scott.
A little different twist. Say on the shipping, you want to have a 20% profit margin, but you know your costs, and so you want it to automatically mark it up 20% based on a cost. Is there a way?
You would do that with a price table. You'd have a unique price code on that record. Do a price formula in your price tables that says, do this much of a profit margin based on the cost on the record.
But let's say you don't know the cost until you go to the transaction and ring it up. So you have a UPS system that says my cost to ship this for me as the vendor or as a store is $4, and I want to do a 20% margin every time So rather than having to figure out, take a calculator, is there a way to enter the $4 with the price table and have it ring it up with a 20% margin?
That's an interesting question. I don't have an answer right now, but I can find one for you and give you a call.
Okay.
Any other questions? Well, thanks again for coming to Keystroke Live every week. Next week is going to be transaction file splits with David Hunsinger. I hope everybody has a wonderful day.